Hello, Classic Crew, and welcome to today's episode of The Scoop. If you are new to my channel, The Scoop is our opportunity to catch up, go over what went on over the course of the week, and just act like we're grabbing a cup of coffee together. And here on my channel, we talk about commentary, lifestyle, beauty, fashion, and opera, all from a conservative and classic perspective. If that's something that you'd like, feel free to subscribe and make sure to ring that notification bell so you're notified of all my new videos. Grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, some water, whatever it is you want, and let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss Enterprises has decided to stop printing 6 of Dr. Seuss's books, including If I Ran the Zoo and To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Because according to them, the books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. They decided to stop printing these books after consulting with a panel of experts, including educators. To be clear, Dr. Seuss was not a racist. His book, The Sneetches, specifically talks about how no one is better than anyone else based on their appearance. But let's make this clear. This is book burning. The left is defending this decision, saying that Dr. Seuss is not being canceled. Just look at how the rest of his books are still in print. For now. The left says we are just changing as a society for the better. This is lies. This is not just change. This is taking an author's book off the shelves, making them unavailable because someone decided that no one should read them. The left isn't simply saying, we're not going to buy these books, they're not for us. The left is saying, you don't have the right to read what you want. The left wants to control what you read, what you watch, and what you do based on their idea of what's good and moral and right. And they do this while treating you as if you're stupid and as if the people who don't want books to be burned are the real fascists. Freedom of speech is being taken from us. Censorship is winning. And cancellations never stop with just one thing. It is always a slippery slope because the left doesn't have a limit. Where would the left stop with this? Why would they stop? They think that everything they don't control is evil, racist, sexist, bigoted, because only they know how not to be those things. With that mentality, of course they'll cancel everything. Dr. Seuss wasn't racist and neither are his books. No one really thinks he is. But the left is testing, pushing the boundaries, seeing how far they can push us before our entire society is canceled right before our eyes. It's a lot harder for us to finally say no when we've been saying, okay, over and over to the left for years. If you think Dr. Seuss is the end of this, you're absolutely wrong. Get ready for all books, movies, shows, any type of content that tells the truth to be taken off the shelf for not telling the left's truth. Now, of course, there are those who are going to say, why should we care about Dr. Seuss? Last week I got, why should we care about Mr. Potato Head? This is just kid stuff. That is precisely why I care. Because they're starting with the stuff that affects our children. And because it was only last week that Mr. Potato Head was in the news for becoming gender neutral. The next generation is walking into a world where up is down and down is up, where the truth doesn't matter as much as your truth, where you can be hated for the color of your skin, your gender, and your orientation based on the fact that you're a white cisgender male, and where knowledge will be denied them by those who deem themselves right and good, and believe that they can choose knowledge for everyone. And this is accelerating. 10 years ago, if anyone had said that Mr. Potato Head would go gender neutral, or that Dr. Seuss would be banned off the shelves, no one would believe you. And yet here we are, right now, as this is happening. We need to recognize that this is incredibly important, and this will have ramifications. So I'd really like to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. Make sure to let me know what you're thinking, what you've heard. I'd love to hear. And because of everything that happened with Dr. Seuss this past week, I actually went in search for a movie that I watched as a kid called In Search of Dr. Seuss. That was the name of the movie. And I remembered loving it as a kid because it's all about Dr. Seuss, and then it also has cartoons and reenactments of his books. I loved that movie. And when I Googled it, I actually was able to find the entire thing on YouTube, so you are definitely able to watch it. It's wonderful. It teaches you all about Dr. Dr. Seuss, who he was, his real name was Theodore Geisel, why he wrote his whole life story. It's fascinating and it's really worth watching. So if you've not seen that movie or if you've not heard of it, it's really cute, something to watch with the kids, I think. And I loved that movie growing up, so it was really nostalgic to go back and watch it myself. Next up, I wanted to talk about Texas. So Texas just announced that they are ending their mask mandate and they are allowing businesses to open 100% if they would like to. And of course, people aren't happy about it. But here's what I have to say. Let's see what happens. It seems to me that even now we still don't know that much about coronavirus because we get new updates every week. And if you're someone who wants to keep wearing a mask, guess what? No one is taking your mask from you. I recognize that wearing a mask is more for others than it is for you, but there are many places that will still require a mask on their premises. So if you want to go to places that only require a mask and the people around you are also wearing a mask, go there. Absolutely fine. And there are masks like the N95 masks that do protect you in addition to others. And if you don't want to wear a mask and you do want to open your business 100%, you get that choice now. That's really all this comes down to. We're allowing people to make choices, and that's not a bad thing. The next thing I want to talk about is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. So I don't know if you've seen this going around. First of all, I have my issues with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They have said numerous times that the reason that they stopped being royals was because they wanted their privacy, they wanted to be out of the public eye, and yet they continue to take interviews and thrust themselves into the public sphere. And I just don't understand that, because honestly, I could imagine a world where people wouldn't want to be in the public eye, and so they removed themselves and lived a quiet life. But that's not what they're doing. They're being so public about their lives. They're still in the public eye, but now they just get to do it on their terms, I guess. And that to me is obnoxious. Don't say that you're taking a step back from public life and then that's not the case at all. But even as all of this is happening, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are doing a tell-all interview with Oprah. And just before that came out, it came out that Meghan Markle has bullying accusations against her from people who worked for her while she was a royal. And I'm interested to see what kind of information comes out, because the fact of the matter is, as I said before, they didn't take a step back from public life. They didn't put themselves in a situation where they could live more privately. They took a step back from royal life and stayed in the public eye and actually pushed themselves into the public eye pretty frequently. So that is not something I can look at and say that it seems like they were honestly looking for a quieter life. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is listening to basic economics. So I talked about in another video on my channel where I was talking about the 10 books I wanted to read this year that I wanted to read basic economics. And it's something I've actually been listening to on Audible. I cannot tell you how surprised I am still at how easy it is to listen to. It is so easy to listen to. I have learned so much, and it's not difficult. I so recommend, if you don't have the time to sit down and read that giant book, if you want to just listen to it while you're on a drive or while you're on a walk or while you're doing chores, you can. It doesn't feel like you have to constantly go back and re-listen to things. It's really, really well narrated, so well written, and it teaches you so much. So I highly recommend that book, highly recommend it on Audible, and I'd love to know if you've read it yourself. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. If you'd like to get a little dose of classic into your inbox just twice a month, feel free to head over to my description box and hit that link. If you would like to follow me on social media, it's at Classically Abby absolutely everywhere. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!